Highest walk was 3,582 meter overseas.
How
Yes,
many records do you hold?
30 records. 7 of them, it's in the Guinness of Book of Records.
One of your records is you walked on the tightrope blindfolded.
When you walk blind, what you can do with your body, you have a different inside balance. And you find out very quick, like I think for me it's the same. You walk with blind or you walk.
You took a bike on the high wire and you cycled for 367 meters on a high wire. That's crazy. How on earth do you balance a bike on such a slim wire?
This was also an interesting thing. Never was on a cable car, a bicycle. So I was thinking it's possible to put a bicycle on a cable car wire, and it was possible. Yeah. So my life changed a little bit. I'm not scared from nothing.
And we're rolling. Freddy, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you to be here.
So, Freddy, you have a list of incredible world records. I was researching you and it said you have one source said 22, but then I think you've made more world records, right? How many records do you hold?
30 records.
Oh my gosh.
But from the 30, we have 7 records in Guinness of Records. So I did a lot of walks, but it's not in the Guinness. 7 of them, it's in the Guinness of Book of Records.
That's incredible. So your records all related to walking the tightrope. So how did that all begin?
Sorry?
how your journey of being a tightrope walker, how did that begin?
Okay, I start actually with 4 years. I'm from a famous circus family in Switzerland. And so I start actually, my father was a high wire walker, my grandfather, grandfather. So we keep going on the high wire, and I love the wire. When I see my father when I was small, and the practice the first, I think I was already with my son, 12 months on the wire with the hands and holding. But really interesting was with 4 years old when my father started practice with me with 4, and that was the way. So I keep going. With 5, I was in the ring in the show on 2.50 meters, and after this we make the high wire. We start when I start when I was 11, and yeah, this was the way how I get to the high wire. But I was a special kid that always loved the dangers.
Yeah, well, in your TED Talk, which is absolutely fantastic story, and anyone who watches this, I really recommend they check out your TED Talk because it was so fascinating. But what was really interesting is that you had 2 events in your childhood, really dangerous events. One where you were attacked by a bear, and because of this, you said that you became numb to fear, and you could now go on later in your life. You could go on the high ropes, and you felt like the fear of being up there didn't bother you so much.
That's it's very hard to understand you. I understand
it. Sorry, I need to dull my Scottish accent.
The bear, I understand. I was with 5 years. I get bitten from a bear. I had a car accident, and I always drowned in the water. That's through 9. Actually, it was 3 times, so I almost lost my life. And with 5, I actually had the bear attacked. And actually, I was in the first year in the show, So I was 3 months after I was out from the show. I had scalped from the bear. And so when I come back, I had 3 dangerous experience in my life. Yeah. And that's why I think my life changed a little bit. I'm not scared from nothing, actually, just for sharks.
Sharks, okay.
Yeah, that's the only thing. What I'm scared, go in the sea and then swim.
Okay.
I'm always scared of the sharks. So I have to get this away one time. I have to swim with them one time.
That's amazing. I'm so interested in how you don't feel fear, because One of your records is about, how high were you? What's the highest you've ever been in one of your journeys?
Highest walk was 3,582 meter over sea, so 1,000 meter fall from the mountains, free fall
Wow.
actually. So that was the highest walk I did.
Okay, and I've seen when you're doing the walk, you have this massive pole. Sometimes you walk with the pole, and sometimes you walk without the pole. So what's the reason for that?
The reason is just you can handle a little bit different the balance, but I do also the walk without balancing pole. But you use the balancing pole to do some tricks in the high wire. So you use sitting on a chair, stand up on a chair, driving with a bicycle without balancing pole. I think you don't can do it. I mean, it's not possible. So that's why it's also the height, the swing of the wire you can balance. And when you do it without safety, so it's important you have something, but I also can do it without balancing pole.
So it's easier with the balancing pole?
It's up how easy. Some people it's easy, some people not. It's how you handle the balancing pole. You
Okay.
know, when you run on the high wire, we make it also challenging. So you need a balancing pole, but you also can do it without balancing pole, you know. So
Okay.
I'm very quick with or without.
So see the record you set for having the highest altitude for a walk on the wire. I imagine there must have been a lot of wind. So when you do these high walks, how do you compensate for the wind interference?
For the wind, you mean? For
Yeah.
the, I tell you, I walk in a wind from 65 hours wind. I can walk on the wire.
Wow.
So that's very strong. With 120, it's very hard. You fly almost away. But I measured with 65 strong of the wind.
And how do you compensate for the force? Do you just need to lean more to one side, or how do you actually um, how do you actually manage to be on such a thin wire so high with such a strong wind? What's the difference in your body movement for you to not fall?
It's a balance. I think that's why without balancing pole, it's very hard. I did a walk down on a cable car in the mountains with 60, but not so far, like 20 meter, and I have to quit after. You almost flow away. But with the balancing pole, you can handle it actually very good. When the wind comes on one side, just from the same side, the hardest thing is when the wind comes and go. This happened on Zugspitze. So this was coming and going. So that's harder. You go against, and then you have to be careful when the wind stop.
Changes.
You have to move. So that's the trick of my balance. I'm like a rubber, you know. I can move my body how I want. I mean, when you see some practice wire on YouTube, on the private channel, you see private, then you see also the training. You will see exactly how my body goes. I always go with the cable actually. So I have also a lot of experience in my life, you know.
So to keep your body in that shape that you can change so easily and to walk so carefully, is there a certain diet you follow? Is there a certain exercise regime that you follow?
Actually, yes. When I have a record front of me, I train a lot. I take also for the food. I look a little bit. I don't get too heavy. I have 69, 68 kilo. Now I'm 71,
Oh,
so
well,
I
that's
lose.
like,
It's also winter time now, so you get a little bit more on for the cold. It's normally, but when you keep going for the record, I have 3 months before I start a record. I real training with the jogging, with the food, with everything. I check a little bit. Yeah, that's very important.
so 70 kilograms, that's really light. And what's your height?
Sorry, my
Your height?
hype. It's 172.
Okay, well, so that's pretty light. And I assume if you're heavier, you wouldn't be able to balance as easy, or you wouldn't be able to uh, add, like stay on the wire as well?
Yeah, it's I can work also. It's but it's more better when you're more in the shape. I mean,
Sure.
everybody do the same. I mean, you train for something, then you lose weight, you feel better. And when you work the whole time, like in the show, in the circus show, you know, when I do the high wire in a show where you work like 8 months on the tour, so there is automatically you every day in the show, you know, so it's a different thing, you know, you stay
Yeah,
always
yeah.
shape, you know, but when you don't work anymore in the show, and you have to be a little bit careful, you don't can eat the whole day and take kilos, it's hard to take it away, and then you have to train. So
Mm.
that's important thing also now in the COVID time. It's a lot. I train at home. I have at home a little wire inside
Hmm.
for standing, and I look 1 hour television. I just balancing my arm, my
Wow.
body, everything. So it's very important. When you don't do nothing, it's not so good.
Yeah, that's incredible. Uh, yeah, it must really be a strenuous lifestyle in maintaining that, because it's the same sort of training as an athlete. You need to make sure your body weight is correct. You need to make sure you're dieting. It's a lot of work. But what you said, which was really interesting, is that you're only afraid of sharks. And for me, I feel my largest fear is heights. But one of your records is you walked on the tightrope blindfolded. And I don't know if that would make it harder or easier. Easier because you can't see how big the fall is, but harder because, well, you're blindfolded. So tell me about that record.
That's what I did now, and in Glacier 3000. It was just last year. I did the walk with the complete blind. Let's see what is blind. Why I come against the blind. So it's like when you have an eye operation, and then when you get older, you had some problems, you know, like now I need glasses, but this is just about the operation. I have a lens inside, and I was thinking what's happened when I will be blind. I lose my job, I don't can do it, you know. So I say, okay, let's try completely blind, not with the you can watch on the knees, so fake it, so really blind. So I make me a helmet completely close, and I practice for 3 months actually for the mountain walk up there, when the highest walk, but was not possible when was not too much air coming inside, so I get dizzy a little bit up there. I want to put it in the last 100 meter. I want to put the helmet on. I practice a lot for this, but I was thinking what's happened when you don't can see. So that's where I get the idea with the operation. So I try to put the helmet, and I practice like this, and it's also possible completely blind. And it's very interesting when you walk blind, what you can do with your body. You have a different inside balance, and you find out very quick, you know, like I think for me it's the same. You walk with blind, or you walk, sure, you have to be careful the step, or see when it's coming a cable, or you have to be careful. It's like a blind guy walk with a stick, you have to learn it too, you know. But
Sure.
it's possible. So I make completely blind, and it's possible to walk completely blind on the wire,
That
also
is
with
uh-huh.
balancing pole. That's without, it's a little bit harder. I'm still practice.
Well, okay.
But
How often do you do these walks?
now in the COVID time, we had a little bit problem for practice and build up and stuff. But I practice a lot on home every day, like 1.5 hour.
Wow.
That's like I say now. I have on home a small. It's like 30 centimeter high,
Hmm.
especially needs 2 meter long, and I watch like this television, especially for the arms, the movement, to keep the balance. It's very important to train this, you know.
Amazing, man. So you started at 4 years old or 5 years old. Your family was in the circus. Did you always know that this was going to be what you wanted to do? Was this always the goal for you, to be a
Always.
professional?
The first time I told you when I was 4, I start with my father. I mean, I was before playing stuff, but I
Hmm.
always see my grandfather, and I see the pictures. And the interesting was always the wire from the beginning. Also, I do other stuff like the Wheel of Death, the Globe of Death. I learn a lot of acts aside, but all dangerous stuff. Not, I make the horses with 11, the ponies, I make the horses, but this was not my.
Can you? I have an idea for your next trick. Could you take a horse on the wire?
I can put it on my back, a little one, with me. This is no problem.
That's great, man. So another one that you did, you have so many records here. We could just spend this whole time talking about your records because you have so many. Another one is you took a bike on the high wire and you cycled for 367 meters on a high wire. That's crazy. How on earth do you balance a bike on such a slim wire?
A bicycle?
Yeah.
A bicycle. This was also an interesting thing. Never was on a cable car, a bicycle. So I was thinking it's possible to put a bicycle on a cable car wire, and was possible. Yeah. So I love to do stuff like, you see, always walking the cable, or now blind. Why don't do it on a bicycle? So high than possible, or so long than possible.
So see the wire, how thick is the wire that you're walking on?
In Glacier, on the cable car was, I think was a 50.
Okay.
Right. And the normal, it's 16 or 14 millimeter. It's like my finger.
So it's really, really narrow. Yeah.
Like this one.
And your whole body is balancing on something so slim. So just on the topic of handling fear, you had 2 or 3 traumatic moments in your life, such as the bear attack and almost drowning, and you said that perhaps made you not feel fear. But have you ever practiced meditation to try and remove the fear from your mind? Or do you have any rituals that you do before you do a stunt, such as before you walk in the wire? Do you do some breathing exercises to clear your head? What's your ritual like?
The thing, it's I go for maybe 5 minutes. I have to be for me alone. I have to go away, or walk away and be for me quiet. And I go through my head, like, yeah, like meditation a little bit. So you will see this also in my eyes when something happened, like in the mountains. Before you go on the way, I need my quiet for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I have to be for me, myself. And I believe in my angels. They're always with me. So there was 3 times with me, and many times after. And I believe in, how you say this, on myself then, and on my angels. And I have to be just quiet for me, like 5 minutes sometimes. And then I go on the wire, and I have one point, it's the other side. And when the angel give me I'd say angels like the stomach tell me it's no good, so I also have to quit, so I have to say, stop, it's better now, stop. And you have to take a break, think about, you do it or don't do it, further. So this was on Tunisia, like I walked over to 2 kilometers, and there was this feeling, stop, and I have to quit there, and I have to sit down and stop. Sometimes you have to say also, quit now, you know what I mean? But I still did the record over 2 kilometers. I walk over late.
2 kilometers, that's crazy. Some people struggle to walk 2 kilometers on land, never mind on a on a thin wire. So that's incredible. But how do you quit? Because you're on the middle of a wire, so it's not like you can step off of the wire.
No, it's I have a crew behind me, and
they can.
Yeah, whole crew who put the wire up and everything. I always be there too. And then we have to figure out what's happened when you walk from 30 meter up to 150 meter over the sea. What's happened how far you get. So we have points like 1 kilometer, it's possible we quit, then we can lose the wire, then you come to the water. And when you go further another kilometer, then you are 90 meter high before you can come to the end. And when you pass the 2 kilometer, you have to keep going, and that was the point why I go 2 kilometer, 169 meter. This was the maximum I can go before we let the wire 25 meter over the water. So I had the chance, keep going or stop. And the body told me, my stomach told me, then stop. And that's why we can let down the wire 25 meter over the water. I have to climb down the rope, you know.
Wow.
So we have signs like 1 kilometer was one rope to the water straight down. So I know it's 1 kilometer. The second one, it's also a rope. So it was 2 kilometer, and I did almost 200 meter more. And I say, we have problems up there. So I have to quit, but still was over 2 kilometer. I walked over.
Wow.
over
and was that your intention? Your intention was to break a world record that day?
Sorry, one more time.
That was your intention. That day you were trying to break a record.
Yes, also. Yeah.
Okay. What was the record before that?
I did 7 records in 1 week.
Sorry, I mean, which record were you trying to break? What was the previous longest distance traveled done?
Nobody did this before. I did 2010 by Circus Knie. I crossed the lake, the Zurich Lake, 900 meter. This was a record. And then 2011, I want to go further. It's a nice story behind this Tuna Sea. When I was a child, I was always in Bertushöhle. It's Bertushöhle. It's a visit for the tourists. You can go inside in this cave. No, you can go inside. And we know the boss up there, Hans. He knows me from child, and I was always a child. I look over the sea and have my crazy ideas, and he always asked me, what do you think about, you know? He was a good friend of my mother and my father, and I said, oh, be so nice to walk the wire over this lake. I had always stupid minds when I was a kid. Actually, my mother always say, you crazy, what do you think? Like a cable car. We was in St. Moritz, and we drive always up there on the 1st August and eat fondue. You know fondue?
Fondue, yeah, food.
You know?
Yeah.
We eat fondue, and I don't like the fondue up there always. When I was a child, now I love it. But in the young time, I don't like so much the fondue. So we drive up, and this was when I did the first time the high wire. I was 11. And we drive up there, and I say, I will walk one time on this wire. When I was so inspired, how you say this? Inspired for do stuff never done before. Also like a child, you know. And my mother told me, you know, you're crazy. It's not possible to walk. It's greasy and all these things. But later on, I did the walk up there, and I did the first record on this cable car. This was actually the first one when I did. This was 1989.
1989. Wow.
50? No, 89. Yeah.
So were your family really supportive of these expeditions, or did you get objections? Like, surely they must have been worried.
It's a little bit hard to.
No, it's okay. I need to lower my accent. I'm trying so hard.
Sorry.
No.
Okay.
I'm actually an English teacher, and I need to. People always say I don't understand your accent. This is something I'm very used to.
Sorry about this, but
no, it's okay. It's okay. I hear it a lot. The Scottish accent's very strong.
Yeah.
So your family, they must have been very worried. Do they get scared when you do these things, or have they always been very supportive? I suppose.
I think my father is also a high wire walker, and sure he thinks. I think when you have a child and you do crazy stuff, for sure. Also me, you know, I have sometimes scare when the little one walks somewhere. But I think this is just, how you say, behind, not scare like something will happen. Just you go. When I watch my son, you go inside. In my life, I'm scared, but I know he can do it. And the same is by my father. He always told me, sure, I'm scared, but he knows what he teach me, and he knows how I am. I mean, he don't push me. I do it with my heart. So that's important, you know. And I think they trust me, and I think they're also happy now what I will do my stuff. And sure, when you see your son up there, same happened by me when I look my kids. For sure, you're scared, but a different scare, not scare something happened. Just how you say this? I think everything you do in danger, I think sure you scare a little bit though.
Of
You how
course.
you say in English? You not scare something happen, but
Nervousness,
how
anxiousness,
you say this in English?
anxiety,
Weißt du, so, you always have to be,
concern, concern.
yeah. But this
Worried,
is to every,
worried about what can happen to
yeah,
somebody.
to somebody,
Yeah.
everybody thinks you race the car, you driving down with the ski. I think everybody is there, all the crew, they're scared. That's what I heard. So, I'm scared, but I said, don't worry, everything is okay. It's the experience. But I don't can go in my mother that just tell me, before you go up, be careful. So I think they're scared, that they're just tell me, be careful, Yeah, sure, I'm always careful. So you understand?
That's
I think
awesome.
they're not scared, but they have
Concern.
something.
Yeah, of course they must. They must because they're human. That's
I think
incredible.
everybody have this, I mean, I don't know, you have child or you have,
No, I don't have any children.
okay, like everybody, a friend or something, you do something,
You're concerned for
race
them,
car or something,
absolutely.
you have to be a little bit, but you know what you do, So, but I think inside it's you're a little bit scared also for your friend or somebody else,
Sure. So it's not just sharks you're scared of.
Actually, yes. Actually, sharks. It's. But I will take it one time. I will do something with the shark one day.
Maybe you can tightrope walk over shark water.
Maybe, maybe, maybe. Who
That's
knows?
that's awesome, man. I find you so inspiring. On this journey, I've been able to speak to several record holders, and your story is just incredible. For me, I feel anxious watching you. I feel worried for you as I'm watching you up on that rope.
You see, also you.
Yeah, exactly. Even me, because you're up there and the wind, and you're on this tight rope. Anything could go wrong. For me, if I was up there and even an insect came or something, I would probably fall. Tell me, sorry, do you have any like accidents? Have you had any major accidents or injuries during this journey?
I had sure. I think I had accidents when I was 23. I had one fall from my own when I did my first show alone in a circus, and I make my first alone act, the first in a small circus, and was 4 meter high. But this was the fall. How you say a fall? Was my fall,
Your
and from then
fault.
I never want to fall again.
Ah,
I
okay.
learn from this fall. Was really stupid fall. Was a blonde girl down in the ring, and I overdo it. So this helps me actually, this fall, and I was lucky. Was just 4 meter but I had broken my both hand, and I say was good for myself. Was good. This fall happened. You understand? I think it's like everybody make a mistake, and from this you learn. Nothing much happened to me, to myself, but I learn a lot of this thing, and I practice so much after this fall. So I learn many things. I think when nothing happened in this time, maybe will come after. You understand? So it was good
Yeah.
at the right time. I had a fall who wakes you up and say, look, this never can happen again. Don't do this, don't do this. And that's why I think that's why I'm now. This helps me so much, this fall. So I
Of
think this
of course, yeah. There was great wisdom in that fall. Like you learned a really important lesson from that.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man, that you took that lesson. So now your son, your father was a tightrope walker. You are a legendary tightrope walker. Now, I think you mentioned your son is also going down this path.
I hope so. We practice. I mean, he's also he have a very good balance. He have a nice teacher. A good teacher. I think he can learn a lot from me what I tell him, but he have his own head. So he's a little bit like me. He learns maybe from me, like I learned from my father, but he learned some other stuff what he have to learn about himself too. Maybe he changed something.
I
Same
mean,
like by me. I learned from my father, but I don't take everything from my father. I make it different, and I learn the walk quicker, and the technique I changed a little bit for myself. So this is what I can give my son, and he can use it, and maybe he will change it after with a new technique. You never know.
amazing.
But for me, it's my pleasure, or it's in my heart when he is a wire walker, and for me, it's be nice. He will keep going, yeah. But you never know what's happened in his head. Maybe he will become a lawyer.
Yeah, maybe. Did you ever have such thoughts? Did you ever think about working in a call center or being a lawyer or having a normal life? Was that ever a thought for you?
No, actually, to now what I do now, I will do also when I come back in my life again. I will do the same thing. I love to do my job. You have an up and down, but I think this can be also a lawyer can be up and down. So I will be the same like I am now.
That's amazing. That's awesome. Oh, what's your plans for the future? Where do you plan to go next with this? Do you have? Can you share anything you're working on currently?
Yeah, we are planning some stuff, but actually I don't want to tell too much now. But now we have COVID-19, and we have a little bit break, but we have some future and some for sure some stuff to plan, and but we will see after then.
That's awesome, man. So just a couple of questions before we finish off. What's your all-time favorite book?
My
favorite book, your favorite book?
A book? You mean the read?
Yeah, reading.
My mother's.
Oh, your mother's an author?
No, but she did a book and I read on it. So
that's amazing. What's your mother's book about?
About her life. No, let's joke. So a book. Actually, I look more movies.
Oh yeah, okay. That was another one of the questions. What's your favorite movie?
Okay, that's The Crow. You know the movie The Crow with Brandon Lee?
Brandon Lee, yeah. I'm a big Bruce Lee fan. I love Bruce Lee.
Yeah, Brandon Lee's. That's for me a nice movie.
Great,
he
man.
died, but he don't die. So he died about love after. No, it's
yeah. Yes, that's beautiful.
He loved and he died, but he don't want to be. He don't want to be died. You know. So, but the story is very interesting. I like the story with the crow. My favorite animal. It's a crow actually.
Oh really?
Yeah. But the Kohlkrabbe. It's very intelligent animal.
Awesome. And last one is: do you have a favorite quote?
Sorry.
Favorite quote.
Quote. Oh.
Quotation.
Was this quotation? Sorry, you cut no after a quotation.
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 As a citat.
Oh yeah, citat. I have time.
Yeah. As much time as you need.
Ich habe ein Sprichwort, but for me it's, I don't know who read it, but some people want to see you fall, so show you can fly.
Amazing.
You understand? But I don't know who write it. I forgot the name, but in English I have to think how you say this. Some people want to see you fall, so show them you can fly.
That's an amazing quote. Thank you so much for this interview.
Sorry, I just have to think how it is in English.
No, you said it perfectly. I totally understand it, and it was really inspiring. But I just really want to thank you for joining me, and I'm really excited to see what's coming next for you.
Thank you. Thank you to be here by you.
Thanks, man.